session is on 2011 trust distributions. And as we all know, we've got less than 60 days now to advise our clients in relation to how they may wish to make distribution resolutions and so forth. We also all know that on the 13th of April, the Assistant Treasurer released some extremely important exposure draft legislation which will shape the way in which we do advise our clients and the way in which trustees do make those resolutions before 30 June this year. These measures will certainly impact on family discretionary trusts, but also on managed investment trusts as well in the trustees' decision making over the next few weeks before 30 June. So there's very little time left between now and 30 June. Although the new laws will allow or confirm that streaming of franked dividends and franking credits and capital gains may be made through trusts to beneficiaries, they do so in a fairly unexpected way, or in a way which isn't entirely intuitive anyway. And so naturally the questions that arise in one's mind are, will these measures work in all instances, and what do we need to do before 30 June to understand these measures and to be able to advise our clients. And this evening we're very, very fortunate to have two speakers, Andrew Mills and Ken Shergott, who are very experienced in this area, to present to us on these questions. I'll introduce Andrew first, and the format of this evening's session will be that each of Andrew and Ken will speak for about 35 minutes, and we'll then allow about 20 minutes for questions and an open forum. I'll also just mention at this point that whilst the room is absolutely full here this evening, this session is also being streamed live nationally to the Tax Institute members around Australia, of whom we have at least 100 listening in, and indeed viewing. Andrew is Managing Director of tax specialist firm Greenwoods and Freehills, where he advises clients on a range of domestic and international tax issues, primarily in the financial services sector. His career spans over 30 years and includes periods in the Australian Taxation Office as well as corporate and professional services organisations. Andrew, as we would all remember, was President of the Tax Institute for the 2006-2007 year and was a member of the expert panel to the Board of Taxation's review of the taxation of management investment trusts. He is also a member of the expert panel assisting the Board on the review of collective investment vehicles. Would you please welcome Andrew this evening? Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. As already outlined, the format is for both Ken and I to speak. We've split the speaking duties broadly along the lines of me framing why we are where we are and how we got here, and giving a technical or if you like, high-level view of how the new law is meant to operate. And Ken will speak mainly around specific examples and try to tease out some of the issues. So in terms of what I'm going to cover, it will both be the rulings and cases that have led us to where we are, policy announcements, the consultation process, the draft legislation that we have been looking at over the last couple of weeks, and finally what you may need to do this year. So how did we get here? And this is going to be a bit of a snippet of a number of cases. Many of you will be familiar with most of these, and so I'm not going to dwell too extensively on them. But of course, Charles's case is one of the earliest cases that talks about the concept that the character of an amount in the hands of the trustee flows through to the hands of the beneficiary. So the character is retained. Why does that matter? It does matter in terms of the way in which particular items of income, of course, are taxed, whether or not the foreign income tax offset flows through with the foreign income, whether a franking credit flows through with franked dividend. and whether or not the features of a particular capital gain, be it a discountable one or otherwise subject to some concession, also flow through. That has been largely undisturbed over the years as a matter of principle. Unfortunately, what we've had as a result of the cases involving the proportionate and quantum debate, which I'll come to in a second, is that the amount that you thought that particular beneficiary may have been receiving under one of those particular characters may have in fact changed.